Well, welcome to this week's Tasting Notes. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Robert Crockett for joining our Patreon. Your support is greatly appreciated, so thank you very much. This week we're going to talk about Early Time's Bottled and Bond Bourbon. Early Time was started by John Henry Beam, also known as Jack Beam, the son of David Beam, whose brother is Jim Beam. Not confusing at all, but Jack Beam started this distillery in 1860, producing the Early Times bourbon. He died in 1915. A few years later, what is now Brown-Forman purchased the brand and stockpiles of whiskey. They originally released the Early Times Bottled and Bond in 1945. It became quite successful as the whiskey industry kind of declined in the 70s and 80s. So did this brand. They revitalized it in 2017. And this particular bourbon, because it is bottled and bond, is distilled by one distiller in one single season, aged 4 years in a bonded warehouse, charred oak containers, and bottled at 100 proof. This particular bourbon has a mash bill of 79% corn, 11% rye, and 10% barley. The smell is very approachable. At 100 proof, I'm not getting a lot of large whiffs of alcohol. It's sweet, almost like a caramel orange candy. Don't know if that exists, but it sounds like it's something to be good. It's got a very creamy texture that just kind of floats onto your tongue, and that vanilla kind of pops right out. A little bit of tobacco and leather as well. The finish has this nice rye pop, kind of that black tingling pepper on the back of your tongue that just kind of, for me, kind of floating towards it, along with the vanilla sweetness. Kind of that, it's almost got that little leather finish to it as well, because it's kind of really kind of drying out my tongue there. Overall, pretty solid bourbon, especially for the price. In Texas, it's going for about $20 where I'm at. And so at $20 on 100 proof for the quality of flavor that you're getting makes it an extremely valuable buy. And until then, cheers.